in this session we would discuss yet another important topic for general studies for UPSC, that's the Kalpsar project. Now we will be talking about this project with a special reference to geography optional candidates, and we will also cover the relevant map locations. Now the brainchild for this project was Mr. Anil Kane, and he is the former Vice Chancellor of Baroda University, the MS University Baroda, and he laid forward an idea to connect the Saurashtra region with the south and central Gujarat. So the idea basically is, as we know, this region is the Gulf of Kutch and this region is the Gulf of Khambhat. The idea in Kalpsar project is to develop the region of Gulf of Khambhat in such a manner that the saline water that is present in this region is converted into the freshwater reservoir, and this freshwater reservoir would lead to improvement in the nearby areas. Now why there was the need for this project? The basic reason was the Saurashtra region has a very low per capita water availability as compared to the north and the south central Gujarat regions. Now if we specifically focus onto the Gulf of Khambhat region, I can say north to south this region varies for around 200 kilometers. Towards the north it has a width of around 25 kilometers. Towards the south it is extended around 150 kilometers, and the total region for which Gulf of Khambhat is spread is around 17,000 square kilometers. So you have 17,000 square kilometer area under the Gulf of Khambhat region. However, this Kalpsar project is dedicated to develop only 2,000 square kilometer out of this whole region. Now this whole region, when it was initially proposed, it was Eric Wilson, the UNDP expert, the United Nations Development Programme expert, who in 1975 proposed that the Gulf of Khambhat region has huge potentials for tidal power generation. Under this, he explained that the tidal power could be enhanced to 5,800 megawatts, and if this comes true, this region could be rejuvenated. However, this tidal component did not work out feasibly, and in 1988-89 there was another report that was published under the guidelines of Mr. Anil Kane, and he explained the region from Goga near Bhavnagar to Hansot near Bharuch to be developed, or this region would have a connecting dam that would connect the region of Saurashtra to the north and central Gujarat. However, this whole region was around 65 kilometers long. It was later realized that this region which is planned is too huge, and this distance should be further reduced if we move northward, because the distance is decreasing as you move northward. So the idea was later on to shift this from Kala Talao to Dahej. So to Alandhar near Dahej. So Kala Talao to Alandhar near Dahej would be the new region where it was shifted, and this would decrease the distance by nearly 30 kilometers. So that was the main idea behind the project. Now if we look up to the basic statistics as to understand why this project was initially launched and the success behind this project, what could it be? So let's understand the population of India and the per capita availability of water. In general terms, we say around 1700 metric meters per annum is the minimum water availability required per capita. If we look on to the Indian census in 2001, this was 1901, and however it is tending to decrease by 225 to 1393. However, this is an ample amount. But if we look on to the same scenario for the state of Gujarat, you have the per capita availability, which was in 2001 only 990, and it is further set to decrease to only 601 in 2025 if this project does not take its real shape. The regions, the values that are marked in star shows the acute water scarcity problem in the region. Now Gujarat contributes to around 6% of the population with 5% of the area and only 2% of the surface water reserves that are present. Now if we move forward, you have the 4 regions that are demarcated here, and when we look at these 4 regions, you can see the south and central Gujarat is the most flourished region with nearly 71% of the water resource present in this region, surface water. However, Saurashtra has only 16% of the surface waters, and the remaining North Gujarat and Kutch again with a very poor proportion of surface water. So the idea was to extract the waters that are present in the south and central Gujarat and divert these waters towards the region of Saurashtra. Now as we have already talked in Sony Yojana, this project again works toward integration of water resources. So here you can see in this map, you have the lines that are marked. So this region shows the region of Kutch with an annual water availability of 730 metric meters per annum. The region of North Gujarat, which has around 343 metric meters. The south and central Gujarat with ample of water, you have 1880 metric meters, and the Saurashtra region with a very less value of you have only 540. So the idea is to divert waters from the central and the south Gujarat region to the Saurashtra region. Now the major 12 regions that are flowing into this region, you have the Narda, Mahi, Sabarmati and Dhandar. So these are the major rivers that would be diverted, and the idea is to connect the regions, and once these regions are connected, this whole region would develop as the world's largest man-made freshwater reservoir, and its capacity would nearly be double of the existing Sardar Sarovar project. So if you look onto the next statistics, you can see that in south and central Gujarat, the rivers that are present, you have nearly 49% of the total water that runs off without storage. So 49% of the water that is coming in the rivers just runs off to the ocean without any proper storage that is available. So the idea is to harness this 49% of the runoff of the water that exists and to apply it to the surrounding areas. So the basic idea is to decrease the salinity in the region, to reclaim the nearby land areas, and for that the estimated cost was considered at around 53,000 crores. Now of this, the idea given by Eric Wilson, if implemented, would cost 33,000 crores. That's just for the tidal plant or the tidal energy generation. So if we consider at a rate of 8% inflation, if this goes on, it would nearly convert into 1,40,000 crores as the total cost of the project, of which nearly 86,000 crores would go for the tidal generation. As a result, tidal generation was removed in the recent current status from this project, so as to decrease this cost back to nearly 50,000 crores. So as of now, the current status, there is no more proposed idea for tidal generation. Also, Narmada has been totally excluded from the project, which was previously a part of this, except for the Bhadbut barrage, and this barrage aims to connect to Kalpsar, and this reduces the distance by around 30 kilometers. This barrage would divert the waters of Narmada and bring it to the existing region. However, there is no idea for Narmada to be included under the original Kalpsar project. So two things have been totally excluded from the project, so as to bring down the cost of the project and to increase the feasibility. The reconsonance report that has been laid forward gives a detailed idea about the project, and then you have the Bhadbut barrage that is located near Bharuch in central Gujarat, and this would provide water to the Kalpsar project from the Narmadas, and that's the only region that would link to Narmada in the existing project. Now the next is, you have the regions that are planned to connect have been marked. So previously it was Goga near Bhavnagar to Hansot in Bharuch, and this has been moved upwards, as I said, from Kala Talao to Aladar, and this region of Gulf of Khambhat would now be converted under the Kalpsar project. So this is the existing extent of the project that would be covered. Now this project tries to implement or store 25% of the state surface water reserves, and this storage would amount for nearly 10,000 million cubic meters of water that could be stored by this project. The next, you have the benefits of the project. If we talk in terms of benefits, there are few major benefits. Let's first talk about sector by sector. So first would be, the major benefit would lie in the irrigation sector. So irrigation would definitely be enhanced in the Saurashtra region. You would have increase in the irrigation intensity by nearly 46%. There would be lots and lots of households who would turn back to agriculture, and it would increase the employment by nearly 8 lakh more employment generation opportunities in agricultural field. So these are some of the major benefits related to agriculture. It is believed that it would cover nearly 39 talukas of 6 districts and provide water, provide land reclamation, or I could say land suitability for nearly 10 lakh hectares of the region. Now next is transport. Under transport, the main idea is the dam that will be built underground would be overlaid by a 10-lane road, and this 10-lane road would connect Bharuch and Bhavnagar and Bharuch, and this this road is planned to decrease the distance between Bhavnagar to Surat by 200 kilometers, or I could say nearly 225 kilometers. The idea is the Surat diamond workers are mainly hailing from Bhavnagar and Amreli areas, and these would have a lesser distance to cover, and as a result it would provide a boost to the economy. There would be a decrease in the transportation distance, and this distance is a significant distance. As a result, it would also connect the Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor, where you have the Bharuch and the Surat way on. So you have the transportation that would be benefited by this. Again, you would have the transportation benefits in terms of petrochemical sector. So you would have Hazira near Surat that would be connected to the PCPIR, that is the petrochemical investment region near Dahej in Bharuch. So you would have a connection of the petrochemical belt, and again you would have a kind of well defined road network. This region would also levy toll taxes, so you would have income from toll tax, and this income is ought to be around 1500 crores for 220, and sought to increase by nearly 2000 crores by 2030. Again, it would provide lot of employment opportunities in the transportation sector. The next idea is land reclamation. So the nearby land where you have the problems and the issues of salinity would be reclaimed, and the soil salinity would decrease because of the freshwater reservoir and decrease in the salinity or saline water in this region. So that land reclamation would be another major effort in this direction. The next major effort would be development of ports. So if we look onto the map of Gujarat here, you have some of the major ports that we have marked on the map here, out of which 5 ports lie in the Kalpsar Project region, and these are Bhavnagar, Dholera, Khambhat, Dahej and Bharuch. So you have Bhavnagar, Dholera, Khambhat, Dahej and Bharuch, and these 5 ports together would have a capacity more than the Rotterdam port, and it would be able to carry around 32 metric tons of cargo, and crore tons of cargo, and it would generate a revenue of nearly 31,000 crores per year. So these are the development in the case of ports. So you have the port that would be developed. Bhavnagar will witness much more speedy development. Now besides these, there are some major projects that would surround this region. So first is the Dholera Special Economic Zone. Then you have the Fadera International Airport that would be established. At Dahej you have the PCPIR that I already explained, the petroleum, chemical and the petrochemical investment region that would be developed around Dahej. And then you have the Bharuch towards the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. So these are some of the major reasons why this region would have good development opportunities. So with this we cover the basic idea of the Kalpsar project, why there is a requirement for the Kalpsar project, the major map locations related to Kalpsar project, and the plan for the Kalpsar project. We will be discussing more topics related to general studies, focusing specifically towards environment and geography in the further sessions. You can subscribe to our channel for more further updates. Have a good day ahead.